and welcome back to Rue's Life. So here I am in the polytunnel. It's been a while since I've started my intro from the polytunnel, but I thought you might like a change from the shed. So I've got a few bits and bobs I want to be getting on with today. Nothing sort of set in stone and no real big jobs because I've got quite a lot of those done already. But I thought I'd take you along with me for a sort of a vloggy video today. So I've got my list. I've actually just wiped this clean and started another list because I've worked my way through all the jobs that I had to do. So this is my new list. And I'm not necessarily going to get all of this done today. I'll get what I can done. Chris is actually home. He's got some time off. So we've done all the animals and he's actually off doing a bit of work on the farm. So, but he's around if I need him for anything today, which is lovely. So on my list, I am having massive issues with the pigeons. When we first moved here, there were a couple of pigeons, but they're multiplying, and I think a combination of they are probably accessing some of the chicken food, if I'm honest, although the chickens are pretty good at clearing it. I'm sure the pigeons will chip in and get some. And also, since we've been growing here, we know there's a nest down in one of the fields in a holly hedge there, and they're also nesting in a holly tree in the hedge on the driveway, and they are also nesting. There's actually a bird box which is in the orchard. It's actually a hen house and it's huge, and it's up really high in the trees, and it was left by the previous occupants. They claim it was for their chickens, but I can't imagine chickens roosting that high. I know some chickens will roost, and some of the stables I've worked in years ago, they used to roost up in the rafters of the stables, but to get as high up as that is, I'm not convinced. But anyway, we have seen a huge amount of pigeon activity in and out of that box. And I just think it's a little bit too easy for them, and so we know of the 3 nests, and there could very well be more. So when we first came here, we used to see a couple of wood pigeons floating about, but they've really seriously multiplied since we've lived here, and I think it's a combination of, as I say, that box, I mean, that's always been here, but we're feeding the chickens, but also since I've been growing the veg, they've obviously cottoned on that it's easy pickings. So obviously I can put netting over things, but other jobs we're going to do. I've ordered one of these owls, the plastic owls. It's one of the ones with the swivelly heads that catches in the I can actually see a pigeon right now as I'm filming this. Yes, you, talking about you. So yeah, I've ordered one of these bird scarer owls with the head that swivels and the eyes that are quite bright, and you're supposed to move them around, sort of sight them in a place where it looks like an owl sitting, but move them every few days so they look realistic. It wasn't particularly expensive, so it's worth a punt, isn't it? It may or may not work. It'll give us something to do. Have you moved the owl today? So that should be arriving tomorrow. We've also got some old CDs which we're going to hang around the place on bits of string, because they're quite good for scaring birds as well. So I want to get some of those CDs out today possibly. I want to pinch out some of the tomatoes. The plants still aren't huge, but I'm going to give them a feed and pinch out those side shoots and the suckers that I don't want. I need to top up the beer traps in the brassica cage, and I'm also going to put at least one more beer trap out in the plot. I need to sort out the compost heaps. That is not a job I'm going to be doing today. It's quite warm. I definitely want to finish bed 5. One of the reasons I want to get that finished is A, it would be lovely to have more growing space, but actually more importantly, obviously that's plastic that's down there, and I'm trying to keep on top of slugs. It seems very silly to have actually created what essentially is a fabulous place for slugs to hide, so I want to get that plastic up and get some cardboard down, and then get some well-rotted horse manure on top of that. And I've also got quite a lot of soil. We've got some molehill soil which we've pulled up, which is in my pull-along trolley in the barn, and I've got some soil left in that builder's bag from when we made the shed base, so I can use some of that as well to put a really good layer on top, and then even if I don't plant in it this season, at least I haven't got that little slug haven. So I'm going to get some of those jobs done today, and all the other normal little bits and bobs. I've already opened up and everything's watered, so I thought I'd take you along with me. And another project we've just got underway is this area is where we want to create a wildflower meadow. Now, we're a little bit late in the season getting this going, but we've actually got some time with both of us at home. So you can see we've trimmed that down really, really close. We need to give it a good soaking because there's not been much rain. So over the next few days we will continue to water and trim, because obviously we're watering and the grass will grow. There are still a few little lumps where there's been molehills, so we're going to get those flattened out, and then we are going to seed that with our wildflower mix and hopefully get that established. Now, it is later in the season, but we're going to give it a whirl. So I actually got a little bit sidetracked. I remembered that I'd got these peas that I wanted to get out, and I also wanted to spend some time sorting out the peas I've already got. So I've taken off the wrap that's around them to keep the pigeons off, which is making them look like Christmas trees at the moment. I've planted some of the peas that I had going here in the polytunnel, and I've wrapped them back up again, and I've decorated my Christmas trees with some sparkly baubles, aka CDs, so that they will also hopefully start to scare the pigeons. And then, because once those peas start to establish, I really need to get that netting off. Otherwise, they're just going to tangle themselves up in the netting, and it's just going to be a real old mess. So I want to get them more established and then take the netting off, and I'm hoping that a combination of the CDs and once I get Mr. Owl or Mrs. Owl, that hopefully will do the trick. But I have still got some peas left, and I'm actually going to pop them in a pot here in the polytunnel, and I'm going to use some of my spare sticks that I cut from the hazel hedge as supports. They don't need supports at the moment, but you know what, I'm going to get them all in and then it's done. So that's the job I'm going to do next. But I am getting on with my list, and I will talk you through what I've done and why I'm not doing some of the other jobs from that list. But as I say, it's only a to-do list and they will get done, but it is ridiculously hot, so slight change of plans. So let's get on and get these peas in. So you may have seen in one of my previous videos, I made a promise to myself I'm going to look after the compost heaps better. So I've got a tub that I've put the bits and pieces into, and I've now got a plant pot which I'm going to keep next to the compost piles, and then I will tip things into that, and then when I get the time, if they're bigger things, I can chop them up. So then I can really start addressing this compost heap situation and improving things going forward. So it's actually really hotting up. It is 20 past 10 and it's over 30 degrees in the polytunnel and about 26 degrees outside, which is why I've slightly changed my morning plans. But I've achieved quite a lot off my list, so I've put out some CDs to scare off those pesky pigeons, and I've sorted out the peas and put some more peas in, as well as the ones in the polytunnel. I've pinched out the tomatoes. I've topped up the beer in the beer traps in the brassica cage, and I've put a beer trap in with the beans. and everything's had a good water, and I'm just about to put the fan out. So the kettle is on. I'm going to have a cup of tea and a sit down and a cool off in the shed. I may do a few more jobs, but I'm going to end this video here. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all getting on with your gardening, and I hope things are starting to burst into life now that we've finally got this warmer weather. If you are new to my channel, please do consider subscribing and hit that bell to get notifications of all my latest videos. Take care, and I'll see you all again soon.